Hello there and welcome everybody to today's Virtual Space Hero live stream. Today we are streaming from Vienna, from the west of Vienna, and I'm really happy to be here. Today, a great day because we're talking again about remote teams. We're talking about virtual collaboration. And you know, I've been researching virtual teams and global virtual collaboration as a researcher for the past 8 years. And it's great to have a practitioner with me here today. Before I ask Anna to come from backstage to the main stage here, welcome to everybody out there. We are streaming today again to 3 platforms. We are here on LinkedIn, our main platform. We are streaming to Facebook. We're also streaming to YouTube. So everybody out there, I see you already connecting. Please provide us with your questions, with your comments. Also, if you agree or not agree about what we are discussing. So I'm really looking forward to having your comments there. So I see already Sveta is connecting there, and she is connecting from Slovenia. Greetings to Sveta. Everybody else there, let us know where you're connecting from and give us also your questions to discuss here. Having said that, I don't want to wait too long. I really love to open the virtual doors to this Virtual Space Hero LinkedIn Live for Anna Savino joining from San Francisco.
Hi, Barbara. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hey there, Anna, it's so great to have you. And I know for you, it's quite earlier than it is for me because I'm connecting easily at 3 p.m. afternoon here in Austria. What's the time for you?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Dear God.
It's okay.
Amazing. Because I asked you, is 3 p.m. sometimes you would manage? And you're like, okay, it's a bit early. Dear God, Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara. Super excited to be here.
It's fantastic. You know, I told you already when we connected a few months ago, and look there, we have already comments and viewers from Barcelona. Hi there, Anna, joining from Barcelona, our meeting, our Virtual Space Hero LinkedIn Live. We have Karin joining from Villach. Hello there. And we also have, dear God, we have Mohini joining from Cambridge Institute of Technology, Bangalore, India. Amazing to have you all here with us. And you know, we also have more people on YouTube and Facebook. So also join in and comment on the discussion thread here. You know, I just wanted to give you a bit of a background how I met Anna. I'm always reading many articles about virtual work, virtual collaboration, not only the academic ones, but also practitioner articles. And one blog that I constantly follow, just because there is really great content there, is the blog from Miro. And I'm just going to also share now with you the link where you can go and read through the articles that Anna published there. And like a month ago, I think, I saw the article about how to collaborate better in 2020. And that was from Anna, and that's how we got in touch a few weeks ago only. But Anna, I know that also your journey to the virtual collaboration work was pretty long, and also the journey to San Francisco. Would you like to let us know a little bit more about your background?
Yeah, of course. I grew up in Moscow, and I used to work as a journalist as an editor for several leading Russian digital publications. So I started as a design reporter, and I was really writing a lot about graphic design and UX design and how this whole industry was evolving. So, but slowly, because it was all about digital, and a lot of good designers were really interested in like building apps and like in what can be done with all these digital tools. I started writing about tech and business and various startups in Russia, startups internationally. And then around 5-6 years ago, I joined a really small startup that had some presence in Moscow and also in San Francisco. And I started traveling between 2 cities. And then 3 years ago, I joined Miro. It was it was really a leap of faith. I have never heard about the company. Nobody ever heard about this company in Moscow as well. It's not really well known in Russia. So I moved to San Francisco, joined Miro, and before I had some experience working remotely because I was always traveling, and we always had these distributed offices in the US and in Russia. But when I joined Miro, I really started working remotely or at in a distributed team for really seriously, and we still have offices in Amsterdam, in Russia, in LA, in Austin. So this kind of distributed team and distributed collaboration taught me a lot. And we also, as we grew, we started documenting our journey, because I think we were in such a unique position. We grew really fast. I was employee number 80, and now we're more than 400. So we kind of really wanted to document this growth and the way we're dealing with remote collaboration and the way we're approaching it as a team.
That's tremendous. And of course, what we assume, all of us probably, but let me know out there what you people think. Clearly, it must be super exciting to have such a collaboration product as you have it, and also work within a distributed team. So what is like, so what we said is we're going to talk about the 5 ways to improve virtual collaboration. If you think about your way back into the Miro distributed and remote team, what were like your major learnings, and how did you came up with different ways on becoming more remote?
I think the biggest learning and the biggest kind of theme that we have is how you build trust and how you build some processes around asynchronous work, because we can't, especially with time zones. If I'm in San Francisco, some of my coworkers are 12 hours away, some of them are maybe 8 hours away. We can't really be micromanaging or just checking in constantly. So it's all about creating processes and creating like methodologies, documentation that is all about like asynchronous work, trust, transparency, and how we can be in a kind of single player mode, right? So it's how we can be really autonomous.
Yeah. And that's really interesting, because we have also been talking about how to develop trust a few weeks ago with Andy Swan. And it also came up when we talked with Cassie Labouré about virtual training and how to build trust with your participants, but clearly in an asynchronous setting, meaning when you don't work always together in the same time zone and you just communicate at different times. It is clearly a challenging part. So what is your takeaway for that? How to build trust, and how do you use Miro for that?
Yeah, of course. So I think one of the most important things is building transparency, and it can be done through different ways. So we at Miro, I think have 2 main ways to build transparency. So first, transparency is all about just really visibility and making sure that we, as a team, for example, on the content team, we have one board in Miro where we put all our tasks and priorities for the week. It's called Huddle Board, so we do weekly huddles, and it also has some resources for the team. So it's you can do it in a lot of tools. You can do it through task tracking as well, but just having this kind of bird's eye view of what everyone is doing on the team this week. And I think this kind of weekly cadence is really good as well. So we don't really go into too much detail. I think it's really important, and also just being really open about if you have any blockers, or if you need any help. So that's why we have rituals where we, for example, weekly, we gather as a team and we discuss what's our tasks and what our blockers, and we on the board we just like comment and share how we can help each other. And I think so the first one is building transparency in this way, and just what everyone is doing. Also on Slack, everyone is really encouraged to connected to our calendar app, so everyone knows if you are on a meeting or if you are away or if you have focus time, because having focus time is also very important. And sometimes like there is no expectations. I heard really scary stories about how some managers during the lockdown, they made people to be on Zoom at all times, or like answer Slack messages within 10 minutes or something like that. It's
Being
which,
on a physical video camera, always on Zoom to show what is in your
yeah,
background. We want everything, right?
yes, we're really anti that, and we really believe that we can't really expect that, and everything is around like this kind of asynchronous collaboration. So, and also to just have this autonomy, it's really important to have like a really clear message in terms of like what's your priority as a team and as an organization. So we have a lot of sources of truth on various levels. So we have boards where you can see all the OKRs for the quarter for the whole company, or you can see all the OKRs and their progress for example, for the marketing team or for the content team. So when you are making decisions where on your own, and maybe you don't have like this amount of time to sync with your coworkers as you would have in an office, you definitely can have just this transparency in terms of like what are we focusing on as a team or as an organization. And it also helps to make decisions faster and on your own, rather than just like constantly syncing with everyone who is involved.
So let me just pick up on one thing. So you were talking a lot about OKR. OKR stands for Objective Key Results.
Yes.
So it's like a little bit like, it's different. I know, don't criticize me, but I like to compare it a little bit with KPIs, but I know there is a difference. Yeah, okay, let's leave it there. If you work with OKRs, of course, you are being much more transparent in what objectives and what the key results are, and therefore you create more trust in a team. That's what you're saying. So if we think about Miro, and let's ask maybe the people out there. So we have seen there are already viewers from different parts of the world. Let us know now in the comments if you are using Miro already. Using Miro, just put the two words, using Miro, so we know that. Because I think, as you were mentioning at the beginning, many people have not heard about Miro maybe 3 years ago, but clearly now after the pandemic, or probably already by March or April, let's say April, May, the increase must have been tremendous in requests also, and in terms of knowledge what people needed in order to use, on one hand from a technical perspective, Miro, but on the other hand also how to foster collaboration, right? And so one thing that you were saying is transparency. You say that you have several different boards, you meet up like once a week to work on the different tasks, and or to check up on the different tasks, activities, and blockers. What other boards do you use, or do you think are necessary for a teamwork, or are useful for teamwork?
Yeah, so just to kind of reiterate on what I said earlier, is that I think it's really crucial to have a source of truth for like a team on an organization, where you just put all your goals, for example, your OKRs, and like who's responsible, who's informed, and all those things. But also having the team hub where you track all the tasks is also important, and just have some, because Miro is integrated with so many other tools. It's like, for us, it's always like a hub where we connect all the dots, because for example, we have task tracking in Asana. We can put Asana tasks on the board. We can put our team documentation on this kind of board where we keep, it's like our board our Teams homepage. So we put Google Docs and Asana tasks, and it's all for just tracking our more like smaller tasks that are not necessarily like as big as OKRs. But I think what we have seen over the past 6 months, right? So a lot of teams all around the world used Miro before, but a lot of these teams were really distributed as our team was. So they had offices in different locations, or they had fully remote teams in different time zones. But what we have seen also is that a lot of people now use Miro for synchronous collaboration. So when we're all working from home and dealing with so many things, it's also really important to have some time. We really value our synchronous time and our autonomy, but also I think both in Miro and what we have seen like through our user base is that people really value synchronous collaboration and how they can use Miro as a whiteboard that they would use in their office, and where they just come in and brainstorm. And we really focus on, I think this year really brought us a realization how it's important to make meetings really, really really effective, and really how valuable is this time together, right? Because if you overdo it, you will have Zoom fatigue and everyone is just tired and there are no like action items. It's not a good kind of collaboration experience. So we were thinking really how you can make the synchronous workshops and meetings really good. So I think what we do in Miro a lot is just facilitate this brainstorming sessions, facilitate this I don't know, retrospectives, sprint planning, and things like that. So yeah, if you go into ideation and brainstorming, for example, I think we have a lot of templates on the board where you can just try different ways of brainstorming, and there are a lot of what's interesting is a lot of facilitators also have their proprietary methodologies for brainstorming, for example, and we have also we started like a template library, Miroverse, where we can just look through what other people are doing and learn to be a better facilitator and to be a better like workshop leader. And I think a lot of focus for us is on how do you make this experience really inclusive and really effective. So for example, if you brainstorm how, like, there are a lot of features around like anonymous voting, or things that really allow people to express themselves and express their ideas and opinions freely, and avoid like the loudest voice in the room. Because if we can imagine like a real life situation with like a whiteboard, there is a clear leader, and I think a lot of what we do is around like how you facilitate more inclusive environment and the place.
And it's fantastic. We already see, we have Ilya who is saying he's using Miro. We see others who are not using Miro but have heard about it. Thanks, Sveta. Mohini, also for your institution, we are probably going to use Miro because Mohini is with me in a virtual global teaching project. Anna is saying that she used Miro in the past. She would like to use it more. And as a pro, do you remember, Anna? She's the one who'd love to have a private course on Miro because she doesn't like to learn over YouTube. Anna, we cannot guarantee on that for today. And we also have here Karin, and not using Miro, but seems very interesting. Indeed, I think, and we're now going to talk a little bit about the inclusiveness part of Miro as well. But I think just to pick up on the examples that we were seeing, there are so many ways on how we can use it for synchronous. Is it training, teaching, meetings, workshops, whatever it is? And I think it provides a lot of value because of the visual elements that it gives you. You were saying that there are also parts that make Miro, or that make meetings over Miro more inclusive. And I know that Miro also has, in the pro version, there is a meeting room function embedded.
Yeah, I think Miro is very neutral. I think, of course, if you want to use it for something where like there is a clear leader or something, you can definitely do it. It's just we see so much really interesting inputs from our user group leaders, and so many like from experts from all around the world. It's like we have features that really enable people to be to really contribute in a meaningful way and we really put a lot of effort into educating facilitators. So for example, yeah, we have if you have a brainstorming session, right, everyone has an equal amount of stickies. You can all set it up. You can just basically, I think it's all about really thoughtful design and how you design a workshop. So you can design a workshop where everyone has like an equal amount of stickies, equal amount of like time, and it's all facilitated by, for example, an agile coach or like just someone who is learning to be a good facilitator. And it's also all about just setting setting really clear time frames. For example, like you can say, okay, right now we want to brainstorm how to make education at our institution better, and we have 3 people. They all have the same amount of kind of land on the board and stickies. All have the same amount of time. And then when we have all these ideas, we can do like anonymous voting. And there are some interesting studies. You can also, like, a lot of people do dot voting in Miro, where they just move dots around. Recently, I heard a really interesting thing where there are a lot of like research papers how transparent voting can really change people's mind if they see like a leader moving their dot somewhere. They can really, it can affect what they decide to do. So I think anonymous voting is also really important, because it's like really, you can avoid this situation where, for example, your boss says, okay, I'm moving this sticky here, or like I'm moving this dot here, and it's a winning idea, right? So and also, I think in terms of turning these ideas into action, it's also really important how, like, after prioritization, for example, you can turn like any object on a board into action item in your task tracker, or you can turn it into a Kanban card that it also can be moved around. It's like a really smooth transition from brainstorming to action. So yeah, that's and I think that's really, as you said, I think I agree that, for me personally, it turned out that like, of course, I used task trackers before, I used Slack before, but this kind of visual way of thinking helps a lot. And it helps to just, especially if like an idea is a little bit more complex, it really helps to understand it. And also, it's not really related to workshops, but I would say that because our team is so international, right? And we have people with so many different backgrounds, and I think a lot of other distributed teams see it as like, if you have hubs in different parts of the world, there will be like language barrier or some cultural barrier. And they think this kind of visual way of representing your ideas really helps, because it's like helps to minimize the miscommunications that can happen when you're maybe come from different cultures or from different working styles. So this is very important.
I think that's really a super important part, that, of course, visuals to some extent can help minimize the miscommunication, what you were saying. And I also love that part, because it fosters creativity, I would say. And you were mentioning also the Miro verse, where there are thousands, I say like thousands, but there are a lot of templates there that you can try out and that you can have a look at. And I also think this part of the Miroverse is a beautiful example about collaboration, how facilitators create templates, share it with each other, and also explain on how they use it. So it's a beautiful way on how the community, Miro community, is using Miro as a tool to collaborate and share throughout the community itself. Let me pick up here on a comment from Sveta, a question from Sveta asking, you mentioned that you set up the program for education of the facilitators. Maybe you would like to say a little bit more about that, Anna. Agile coaching approach, is this a structured TOT, train the trainer, I would say, program, or ongoing grassroots initiative?
I'm afraid I don't know what TOT is, but I will try to answer. So we have academy, and it's available to everyone. It's free, and it's all about just best practices, what you can do with the boards, and it's all about just best practices, for example, for agile ceremonies in Miro, or for workshop facilitation. And we also have Miro user groups. It's like meetups, but virtually. So, and at our meetups, there are more kind of granular granular events where a lot of our Miro user group leaders, some of them are agile coaches, some of them are professional workshop facilitators. They just share their more kind of individual experience and their tips and tricks. But yeah, so right now we have two things, like an academy and also this one-off events with our community.
So I think the Academy is really a nice a nice online source for asynchronous learning, and you also have those webinar series that you offer in a synchronous way, right?
Yeah, we also have webinars. Yes, it's webinars come from us and from our education designers and our agile coaches inside the team, and also, but Miro user groups are hosted by just our champions across the world, and they can, if they are using Miro in their professional work, they can just share what their learnings are and what they like to do in the product.
Yeah, so maybe just to summarize it again. So we have on one hand the Miro Academy with asynchronous and synchronous offer. The asynchronous is like the short learning units that you have online, and the synchronous one are the webinars. And if you go to the webpage, fantastic topics always upcoming about virtual collaboration facilitation. And on the other hand, we have the user groups. So also here a shout out to the Asian group, Joshua and Isman. I'm not sure if you're watching this, but I love the first meeting because I am now part of the Asia user group. So thanks for that. It's a really in-depth meeting, experimenting and looking at the different functions of Miro and exchanging. So a fantastic initiative there. But Anna, there is a very big thing coming up that you have that is also about transfer of knowledge. And that is the big distributed remote 2020 conference. And it's crazy because I just went right before the live stream. I went to the webpage. I got registered a few weeks ago. And I saw last year in the distributed 2019, you had 14,000 people, 86 countries, 38 speakers and 15 sponsors. So a tremendous event. I see that also the speaker lineup looks fantastic for this year. And the fun thing is, dear virtual space heroes out there, two of the speakers are going to be the guests on my LinkedIn Live show. Next week with us, Maulud Cesarelli, the CEO and founder from Remote Forever. And then we also have, I think in 3 weeks, Isman Tanuri, a tremendous virtual facilitator from Elizan Partners from Asia Connecting. But Anna, tell us a little bit about this project, about this big, huge project.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. This year, I'm really lucky to just create a program for Distributed 2020, our second annual virtual conference. We actually started last year, and last year it was a very new idea, and we were really trying our best, and we saw a lot of interest. And of course, this year we really wanted to repeat that. And this year we have, I think our program is much more extensive. So we, in general, we just want to have a event where we all talk about, like, reflect on 2020 as designers, product managers, agile coaches, and where we kind of share our insights and our learnings, so the teams that are like living through all these changes can really adapt and thrive in this changing environment. So we have a lot of I think we have several tracks. One is a little bit more leadership focused and high level. It's We have several really big panels about the future of remote work. We have a panel about agile transformation while remote. We have a panel with really good product leaders like Hiten Shah and Brian Crofts from Pando, and some other really great speakers. And we also gonna talk a lot about inclusivity and diversity and how it also can be encouraged in remote teams. But besides that, we also have a lot of in-depth workshops focused on Miro. So we kind of go through from more high-level leadership perspective to really practical things. And we will have a lot of facilitators that you named, Isman, Joshua, our leaders in the Asian region. They all gonna facilitate different workshops about how to use Miro for being more productive, how to use Miro to build an emotionally safe environment. Also, we will have some partners. Maybe one of the most interesting ones is Frog Designs, experts in design thinking and organizational design, and they will teach a workshop on how to make your workshops more inclusive and just create this kind of really free space for expressing your ideas. So yeah, we will go from like really high level thinking to really in-depth, detailed methodologies, and I'm really excited about that. And of course, of course, we will also have some really interesting sessions about the future of our product with our head of product, who is gonna be us answering all the questions about where Miro is going, what to expect from the product in the coming months. And so if you are a Miro user, it's also going to be really interesting because it's all about some of our future plans and launches coming up.
Yeah, it's so amazing because in all the tools that I've been using, there were so huge steps, advances in what was going on this year. It is tremendous. So it's really amazing also. And also, I'm a huge fan of Toasty, for example, and that Miro is embedded or integrated into Toasty, which is also amazing for us facilitators. But let me give a shout out to Anna. Anna Zelno, you wanted to know more about Miro and use it like a pro. So definitely you need to come to the Distributed 2020 Miro conference, because there are also hands-on workshops. So who is signed up there already? The two of us, definitely, Anna and me. So who of you is going to join us there? Let us know, let us know. Yeah, I see. And Ilya is already saying that is a very impressive panel registered for Distributed. Exactly. So see you there as well, Ilya. I just joined today Ilya's community as well. Interesting events going on there.
Oh.
So it's a Discord community. So I was just looking for the name because I was like, dear God, I was never on that platform. Now I'm trying that out as well. Ilya, looking forward to our water cooler talk that is happening soon. Anyways, people out there, we still have like around 7 minutes left. Then we're going to finish this live stream. If there are questions for Anna, is it about remote collaboration? Is it about Miro as a tool? Or is it about the Distributed 2020? Just put them into the chat and let us know your questions. Or also if you don't agree, because now I'm going to ask again, coming back to our initial conversation about ways on how to improve your virtual team collaboration. So we talked about being inclusive. We talked about the trust also in asynchronous teams, for example, or asynchronous distributed teams. We talked about leadership as well and collaboration. Anna, what else makes you feel part of the Miro team, even though you are a distributed worker or a remote worker?
I think one part that is maybe not that kind of methodological and but still very important is just having fun. I think what we do a lot in Miro and what we try to encourage is just like really finding time and space for some really good deep conversations about how we actually feel, or maybe, what's going on in the world, or how we can, like, about our mental health. So we at Miro, we have a lot of employee groups where we just, for example, like Women of Miro for female empowerment, or for groups where we can talk about our mental health. And we are always encouraging everyone who comes on board to just be really open about how they feel, and ask others how they feel, because it's really easy to just go into like just being avoiding small talk in this virtual environment, or like really not just focusing on work, and it can lead to burnout. So we really, like, we often start conversations on Slack, even if it's something quick. It's like, hey, how are you feeling, like what's going on, we haven't talked in a while. And I think it brings a lot of important kind of, it also kind of encourages trust. And also we, speaking of the ways we use Miro for this kind of cultural initiatives, is we often just host games in Miro. We just like come up with some interesting games that we can play, or adapt some of the existing games that we can play offline. We do them online.
Give us an example, Anna. Wait. Give us an example here of what was the most fun game that you played in Miro that you usually only play offline?
Wow, this is, I'm not sure if I played this offline, but it's definitely connected to some kind of previous like offline fun games for teams. It was a murder mystery. So we had facilitators who were dressed as kind of this cast of like a wedding in the 80s, and we were dressed up in the 80s clothes. And then because it's a murder mystery, we're given clues, and then we go into breakout rooms on Zoom, and we can ask each participant questions, and it's like a little kind of investigation, and we're trying to just based on these clues to understand what happened. And of course we documented everything in Miro, and we had like boards for each breakout room, and we can kind of connect the dots then after we visualized what is happening. So this was really fun. And I think things like that. We also had usually we have a summer offsite where we all go to some location together, and we really spent a week together, but we didn't have this year. So we had a whole offsite in Miro, and it was really fun. And it was also a lot of kind of games and activities about just asking each other questions, and just planning for the future, and really bonding in the ways we can this year. So this is really, I think, something is really important for our culture.
These are super lovely examples. I also have seen beautiful ways on how Miro has been used as a team bonding tool. For example, I sometimes do it with students at the beginning, that I come up with a whole Miro board, and I do sort of small person descriptions of each student. And sometimes it's obvious for them and they know each other, but if you think about like fun questions, and I always have like a quadrant where the student puts a fun picture with a certain motto, then they have to answer fun questions, and they get to know each other in a very different way. And also that works perfect, because that's how you have like a whole overview about a remote students cohort now, which is also fun. We also had a tremendous workshop from Robert Kinsley from Nomium, from Josh's colleague, doing it for us as ICCM, and he was introducing Miro to my colleagues. And we also had the same, coming up with a board that is our council, with a council board. And it was really great, a fun way to get to know each other from a different perspective, but also to use the tool already and to learn the tool. And I also designed, for example, a Miro board that I use for conducting or running virtual world cafes. And it's just fantastic because you can guide people through the tool easily by hiding, unhiding, and or having them follow you on the board. And that's how it really adds a tremendous value to the different, to virtual workshops or virtual classroom, whatever it is, virtual meetings. Let me check here. We have another comment. Thanks a lot, Ilya from Ilya. Thank you, Anna Sabina. Very insightful. Love your focus on inclusivity and creating an enabling environment for a team with Miro. Absolutely. And I also would say I'm a tremendous fan because I believe there is tremendous potential in the virtual space that we might not have been able to use it at full because many of us were just thrown into the virtual space from one day to the another. But now we see that there are tools that enable an inclusive, meaningful context, such as Miro, such as Toasty. But also, of course, I think it's super important, and Anna, you said it before, that we as facilitators don't forget about our role to create that meaningful and inclusive environment in the virtual space, right?
Yeah, of course, I totally agree. I think Miro is definitely, because it's such a big part of our culture, we're definitely making sure that we integrate it into our features and roadmap. But I think, as I said, it's, it's always like I think it's an agile principle that interactions are more valuable than tools. And I think, it's really great to have tools like Miro, but it's also all about just empathy and, independent of your tech stack, it's really just about the way you can create like a meaningful connection with the person using the tools that you choose. So I think this is really something that we stand for. And it really helped us to just go through all these changes in the past year.
Cool. That's really amazing. And the good thing is, to all of you out there, Anna and me are total fans of remote work, of remote facilitation, virtual work. I think there's only one, a backfall drawback. For example, now, Anna, I would love to offer you a typical Austrian suite that I'm going to have after this virtual thing. It is a crap one that I cannot give you, not even in the virtual backstage. And I was thinking the whole time, what can I do? And it's just tremendously good, I swear. That's the only drawback for me in the virtual space, that I cannot, these small things, to share that. But otherwise, we see that there are tools who really facilitate and help us in the virtual space. And Anna, at this point, to everyone out there, don't forget, and I've already seen a few people already got registered, don't forget to register for the Distributed Remote 2020 conference. We all see each other there, I would say, right?
Yeah, please register, and I'm super excited to see you all at the conference. Lots of great speakers, and hopefully we all can learn from all these incredible people how to just make our work life much better.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So we are going to post the link again afterwards into the chat. Don't forget to go there, miro.com. You will find the link anyways. So it was fantastic having you with us, Anna, or with me here on stage. Thank you so much. I have prepared sort of a virtual cocktail backstage. So enjoy that. I'm joining you in a few minutes there, okay? Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you very much. Bye. And to all of you there, again, thank you so much for your contributions, for your comments as well. I'm just picking up on one from Sabine. Sabine, I don't understand it. I think I need further information. What do you exactly mean? Which game? The Virtual World Cafe, or what do you, PKNM? I think she's using a lot of code words there. Sabine, I need further information on that, please. I really am a bit lost. Anyways, Thank you so much to all of you there for being part of today's Virtual Space Here LinkedIn Live. Next week, we're having Moloud from Remote Forever. She's also one of the speakers of Distribute 2020. So don't miss that. And go to our webpage, virtualspacehero.com. There are the whole lineup until December is already online. It's always Friday afternoon. And having said that, I'm going now to enjoy my Krapfen. I'm going to let you know also afterwards how I liked it. Look that up, a typical thing in Austria when we start Carnival. Well, we're not there yet, but well, I eat it all the year long. That's fine. So thank you very much for being with us and have a beautiful afternoon and weekend. Bye from Austria. Bye-bye.